Hello, I'm Abby, bookworm and cozy fantasy writer, and today we are yapping about A Song to Drown Rivers by Anne Liang. I listened to the audiobook, so I'm just gonna have a photo of it right here. So this review is gonna have two parts, a spoiler-free and a spoiler review, so I will give you a warning before I go into spoilers. Just a brief summary of the book. This is a Chinese historical fiction book, I guess. I went into it thinking it was fantasy. I don't know if that's how it was marketed or if I just thought that in my head. I'd have to look it up. So this book follows a young girl named Xisha. Peasant girl, we've all heard this before. She's the most beautiful woman in the land. So because of this, she's selected to be a gift for the enemy king, a peace offering, only to find out that this is all a grand plot to overthrow the enemy empire, and she will be a spy right by the king's side. So she has to kind of live a double life the whole book, gathering information, trying to win the king's affection, trying to get him to waste all his money on palaces and gifts and parties so that he doesn't, put it towards the war. All while this is going on, there is someone back home that she has affections for. There's that romance thread in there. Before I go into spoilers, I do want to give content warnings for this book. While this is kind of like an arranged marriage, I was very glad that there were no spicy scenes in this book at all. I was a little worried at first. I went into this book blind, so I really didn't know what I was going into. Even though he was an evil king, he wasn't going to force anything, which was great. It made the book a cleaner read than I thought it was going to be, so I do appreciate that. I will be moving on into the spoiler section. If you have not read this book and you do not want to get spoiled, just come back later. And now for everyone who has stayed, let's yap. So I try to break my reviews up into plot, character, theme, and emotional impact. So first starting with plot. I also just finished the book, by the way, it's the time 20 minutes ago. So it's still super fresh in my mind. I literally just could not stop listening to this book. The pacing was phenomenal. Everything was just progressing so well and so naturally that I was hooked. I just genuinely could not stop reading. I even, at one point, I stayed in my car to listen to it, and my husband was at home waiting for me to have dinner with him, and I pulled into our parking lot and I was like, wait, I'm just gonna keep listening. And he had no idea. I just stayed for 10 extra minutes and I was like, oh, hey, I'm home. Now, because we're in the spoiler section, there were a few things about the plot that didn't really feel natural, I guess. Xisha, our main character, it's mentioned that she has this heart condition where her heart, it had moments where it just hurt her. And when I first found that out, I was really interested to see how that correlated to the plot, because I really like when characters have some kind of disability, something that physically holds them back that then is used in a very interesting way throughout the book. Toph from Avatar: The Last Airbender is an example. She's blind, but she's the best earthbender out there because she uses her disability to just push her forward. As someone who has chronic back pain, it's really interesting seeing how, disabilities or things like that are used in a positive way that actually is a strength, not a weakness. I think that's a very powerful message. So when I read this part in the book, I was really excited to see how they would use it, and they didn't use it really for anything unless I missed it. Another thing that I had mixed feelings about, the Wu King, the bad guy, which he still was not a great guy. I guess I didn't like how he was portrayed to be this really bad dude, and then she gets there and he's just like, oh yeah, cool. It made the book clean. It made there be no spice scenes, even though we have an arranged marriage trope, so I was happy about that. The part of me that's more realistic, he doesn't seem as intimidating, just the way she portrayed him, a little underwhelming for me. I am not complaining because, again, it made the book cleaner. Probably would not have read it otherwise. I was wrong. I talked about the bad things first. Let's talk about the good things. The amount of plot twists in this book, first of all, that she gets there and I'm expecting this really bad dude, and then she gets to the Wu Kingdom and the guy is not that bad, really. He's also young and handsome, which as soon as I read that, I was like, she better not fall in love with him. We can get into that in the character section though. But I really liked the twist with their relationship and I'm not gonna say I'm mad about it. I actually really enjoyed watching that play out. I was also not expecting her friend to die, like to be poisoned. The scene where she finally gets what she wants, she defeats that general. She finally did what she wanted to do, and then she's poisoned, she's killed, and just the whole scene where Sisha finds her in the room, she's trying everything she can do, and her friend is just like, no. Also, the fact that she ended up killing the Wu King, I was not expecting that to actually happen. When I got to the very end and she's attacked by the king she was fighting for, by his men, thrown into the river, she's drowning. In my head, I'm like, Funli's gonna save her. No, she dies. She just straight up died. The rest is just a montage of her ghost just like watching Funli find her and just spiral. I was not expecting the author to kill off our main character. This was such a fun book to read because genuinely I had no idea what to expect. So now on to characters. My favorite characters are a mix between Sisha, Funli, and what's the Wu King's name? I don't remember his name, forgive me. Starting with our main character, Sisha, I really liked how she was this gorgeous woman, but she like wasn't, you know, conceited. She wasn't trying to be like, oh no, I'm not pretty. No, like she knew it. She was honest. I mean, I liked it. Like she felt more likable that way. I really liked how the author used her beauty to further the plot. That was the whole main reason why she was even here in the first place. I like that she was able to see that human side of him, and I like that she actually felt guilt for what she was doing. She valued human life, even her enemy. She had a hard time killing him. Her relationship with Funli, when he was captured by the Wu King and she was forced to watch as this like blade is like shoved into him and like twisting, and like he's crying out in pain, but like he's not gonna show his pain to her. Just, yes, it was kind of insta-lovey. I liked it. That's a good segue into Funli as a character as well. He was so interesting from the start. I'm always drawn to the mysterious characters because I'm just nosy. As you just get to know him and you see the way too that he really likes Sisha. The scene where she is about to go into the Wu Kingdom and he gets off a stop early. And she's like, well, why aren't you gonna come with me? He's like, I'm human too. Because he can't take it. He can't deliver her to the hands of the enemy. He was great. He was a great character. But then now moving on to, I think by far the most interesting character in the entire book, the Wu King. Is it Fu Chai? I'm just gonna keep saying Wu King, but if it's Fu Chai, just know that I did get it right once. Before I even met him, I was just, you know, picturing exactly what she was picturing. The bad guy in Mulan, I was picturing him. This is the guy. And she comes and she sees him and I was like, Jungkook? Just like the way that they describe him like kind of made me feel that way because they're like his long lashes and his full lips and the slender like curve of his face. That's like immediately how I just started picturing him the rest of the book. The more he started changing as he started just falling in love with Sisha, it was just so interesting to watch, and the things that he would tell her. And she was talking about playing games with her family and then asked him, well, what games do you play with your family? And he was just like, we never really played games. All the other kids were too afraid to let me lose, so they always let me win. And even some of them just wouldn't even play if it was a physical game because they didn't even want to hurt me, like, because they could be executed. Then you like see more of his childhood and you're kind of just like, man, like also too like how like it started showing that he stopped really doing much with the other women. She started seeing these little changes. He's not husband material, but it was very interesting to see how the more he fell in love with her, all these little like moral changes started happening. And then again, you find out that it was the emperor all along, which I kind of knew. But the scene where he lost everything and then he was like, I don't care. It doesn't mean anything as long as I can be with Sisha. Love or obsession? Well, I don't know. I think we're on to... oh yeah, prose. I really liked the way that she described things. I think her prose was the perfect mix of not too purpley, had a very distinct writing style, and everything just sounded very beautiful. Now onto emotional damage or impact. This book though was just damage. I was very surprised that I didn't cry. The scene where she finally does it, the other kingdom attacks and she has to leave with the Wu King to go to that other palace, and she's like hearing this screams of all the maids and she's watching guards die. She's literally averting her gaze from the guards because she doesn't want to look at them because she knows that they're going to be dead soon because of her. When she realizes I was just supposed to be the catalyst, like I was prepared for that. I was not prepared for the consequences of it. The whole scene just like, hey, because it's like it's supposed to be a victory. It's not happy. It's not a good scene. Then when she has to kill the Wu King and she even struggles to even say I hate you. I've seen the good sides resides in you. Just gonna talk about that for 1 second because that was one other thing. I love it, but at the same time I don't. He did all these bad things, but then he also has done these good things. I was talking a lot about his full lashes and his parted lips and blah, like he's so innocent. I'm like, if he was ugly, I don't think he would think all this. I did think that that was a little overdone. When she would start feeling bad for him, it was because she would like notice how he was still innocent looking. Someone can look innocent and be heinous, but whatever. When she was having that little like internal montage, the whole time she was struggling to say I hate you, in my head I was just thinking, but what about your sister? Because she was mentioning all the people who died because of him. She didn't think of her sister at all. This is the climax of the book. You literally came to do this for your sister. She didn't think about her sister once in this climax. Unless I missed it, but I was trying to listen out for it. That was one little thing in the climax that I did not like. And then we get to the end of the book where she realizes the king I've been fighting for is not a good guy. He's no different than the Wu King. And then he straight up kills her. Because he's like, well, she already did it to like the Wu King, so maybe she could use her beauty to sway me. And the only thing going through my head was that one saying that you've probably heard: there are no winners in war, there are only survivors. I feel like that's the message that Anne Leong was trying to get to through this book. Definitely a thought-provoking message where she literally, she achieved everything she went into the book trying to do, and she ends up dead by the very hands of the person she was doing it all for. Every single nail in that coffin just proved the theme more and more. I think overall I would give this book 4 out of 5 stars, but it was very, very well done, and I had a wonderful time reading it. You made it to the end of this video. Thank you for watching. I will be posting reviews and recommendations, sometimes joint reviews with my husband. We like to listen to audiobooks together. This was one that I feel like he would have liked, honestly. I was too selfish and I wanted to just binge it all. If you are interested in this video, I have my review with my husband of Tress of the Emerald Sea by Brandon Sanderson. It was his first Sanderson book ever and he really liked it, guys, so maybe he will hop on the Cosmere train. Thank you everyone for watching, and I will see you in the next video.